Hello friends and welcome back. So in this episode we are going to sync our animations across the network. Let's drag our player into the hierarchy, and on cowboy we have our animator component. So I'm going to add a photon view to it, and because we need to observe the animations, so let's add another component and photon animator view. Now in the animated view, you can see that all of our parameters right here. We are going to sync them. So let's drag this photon animator view into the observe component, because we wanted to synchronize across the network. So photon view has to be observing this animator view. Now I am going to select the discrete on all of them, and there is another option called continuous. Discrete will send values where in a number of times in a second, but the continuous will try to send value on each frame. To minimize the network load, we are going to use the discrete. Now if we hit apply and run our game, the animation will be syncing across the network. Now we also want to synchronize the player name, so let's create a canvas for displaying the username, and I'm going to set the canvas to world space, and I'm going to select the player camera into the event camera, and I'm going to enable the player camera and disable the scene camera, so that we can align our text on our player. So in the canvas I am going to go to UI and create a text, and let's rename it player name, and go to the canvas and reset its position. Now we are going to actually change the color so that we can see. Now the player name has been added, but we cannot see it, so let's resize it. So select the scale tool and select your player name and decrease the scale, and let's position it. And make sure to center the text, and let's position it right here, and let's say player name, make it bold, and you can put a shadow or outline to our player. Now save the prefab by hitting the apply button, and let's go back to our player cowboy script. In here, in the awake function, now first we need a reference to our player name text. So I am going to say public text, and to use the text we need to import the library using Unity Engine .ui, and now we can declare the text and call it player name. Now in the awake function, if it's our local player, player name dot text is going to be photon network dot nickname, and else if it is not our local player, if the photon view is not mine, then we are going to set the owner name. So actually for the opponent name we are going to use the photon view. So if it is our photon view, then we can simply use the photon network dot nickname, and for the other player we are going to make use of this photon view variable. So copy that, and then we are going to say whoever the owner of that photon view is dot nickname. And we can also do another trick here is to identify our player. We are going to append this text you, so you mean it's you, and then we are going to put the name, and we can also change the color of the text, and if it's not our local player, then we are going to say color dot red. Now let's go back to Unity and assign the player name text. So this is it, assign it here and hit apply. And now I am going to delete the player from hierarchy and enable our main camera, and also make sure that the player's camera is set to false, and save it and delete it from the scene, and make sure the main camera is now again set to enabled. Now let's go back to the first scene and play the game. Now I am going to, let's enter my nickname and join a room and spawn our player. So now you can see that